one-way valve that allows food to enter the stomach but prevents it from regurgitating. The stomach, a J-shaped sac, is located in the upper left part of the abdominal cavity between the esophagus and the first part of the small intestine called the duodenum. Gastric acid inside the stomach digests the food we eat. The stomach is made of three major parts: a fundic region, cardiac portion, and a pyloric portion. At the end of the pyloric portion lies the pyloric sphincter, which regulates the flow of the churned food from the stomach into the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. The duodenum is followed by the jejunum and ileum that make up the rest of the small intestine. While the duodenum is the short, U-shaped portion, the jejunum is the long, coiled portion. The ileum, on the other hand, is a highly coiled region that opens into the large intestine. The large intestine, which is the second last part of the alimentary canal, is divided into three regions, namely the cecum, colon, and rectum. The cecum, a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms, is not as developed in humans as in ruminants. Moreover, in humans, the cecum gives rise to a narrow finger-like tubular projection called the vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial or functionless organ. The cecum opens into the colon, which is divided into an ascending, a transverse, and a descending colon. The descending part of the colon leads to the rectum, a bag-like structure which stores undigested food as fecal matter till it can be passed out. The rectum leads to the last member of the alimentary canal, the anus, which digests the undigested food remains. The wall of the anus, as well as other organs of the alimentary canal, is made up of 4 layers of tissues, namely the serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. The serosa, the outermost layer, is made up of a thin mesothelium along with some connective tissues. The serosa is followed by the muscularis, a muscle layer made up of a circular inner layer and a longitudinal outer layer of smooth muscle cells. Adjoining the muscularis is the submucosa, which is a soft connective tissue layer containing blood vessels, nerve endings, and lymphatic vessels. Did you know that in the duodenum, glands are also present in the submucosa? Finally, the mucosa, the innermost layer of the alimentary canal, lines the lumen of the alimentary canal. It is an important layer as the mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which help in lubrication by secreting mucus. In the stomach, mucosa forms gastric glands and irregular folds called rugae, whereas in the small intestine, mucosa forms villi, small finger-like projections. The mucosa also forms crypts, called the crypts of Lieberkühn, between the bases of the villi. The borders of the villi have a brush-like appearance as the cells lining the villi produce several microscopic projections called microvilli. Both villi and microvilli considerably increase the absorptive surface area of the small intestine. Villi also have a network of capillaries and a large lymph vessel called the lacteal. Interestingly, the tissues of the alimentary canal wall show modifications by way of thickness and so on.